It all started with a single moment, a heartbeat suspended in time, when a young nurse made a choice that would forever alter the course of her life. Imagine rushing into chaos, where gunshots ring out and people scream, and without hesitation, a bullet meant for a stranger finds its way into your body instead. What would you do next? How far would you go to protect someone you've never met? This is the story of Emma, just 24 years old, full of hope and dreams, a nurse who never imagined that her courage would be tested in the most brutal way possible. Emma had always wanted to heal. From the moment she first stepped into the hospital's emergency room, she felt a calling to make a difference. Quiet, kind-hearted, and endlessly patient, she was the type of nurse who stayed long after her shift ended, checking on patients who needed an extra moment of comfort. Her world was structured around saving lives, one heartbeat at a time. On a chilly Friday evening, Emma was heading home after a grueling 12-hour shift at the city hospital. She was exhausted, her mind already drifting toward the soft comfort of her small apartment. But as she turned the corner near a bustling downtown plaza, the night erupted into chaos. A sudden burst of gunfire shattered the calm. People screamed and scattered in every direction. Instinct kicked in. Without thinking, Emma dashed toward the sound of distress. Ahead, a man lay bleeding on the pavement, clutching his side. She recognized the unmistakable signs of a gunshot wound, his face pale, eyes wide with fear. Emma reached him just as another shot rang out. Time slowed. The bullet tore through the air, right where she was standing. Pain exploded in her chest. Emma felt herself fall, but her mind stayed sharp. She shielded the stranger with her body. Everything around her blurred, the world reduced to a narrow tunnel of urgency and survival. Paramedics arrived minutes later, rushing her to the hospital where she worked every day. The irony was not lost on her colleagues, the nurse who had saved so many now lying vulnerable in an ER bed herself. The bullet had narrowly missed her heart, but the wound was serious. Surgery was urgent. As doctors worked through the night, Emma's mind wandered to the man she had saved. Who was he? Why was he in danger? She needed to know. 24 hours later, Emma woke to a flurry of visitors, doctors, friends, and one unexpected face, the man whose life she had risked hers to save. His name was Marcus, a community organizer known for his work helping at-risk youth. That night, he had been trying to intervene during a violent confrontation to protect a teenager from gang violence. Their stories collided in a way neither expected. Emma, the nurse driven by compassion. Marcus, the fighter for justice and peace in a city struggling to heal. The recovery was slow and painful. Emma faced not just physical wounds but the emotional weight of what had happened. She grappled with fear, vulnerability, and the harsh reality that her life could have ended that night. But through Marcus's visits and their shared mission to protect others, she found new strength. Together, they began working on community projects, first aid training for young people, support groups for violence survivors, and advocacy for safer neighborhoods. Emma's near-death experience ignited a fire within her, transforming her from a nurse confined to hospital walls into a beacon of hope for an entire community. Her story spread, inspiring others to act with kindness and courage. Emma's bravery showed that even in the darkest moments, one act of selflessness can create ripples that change countless lives. She learned that heroism isn't about grand gestures, it's about choosing to stand up, even when it's terrifying, about risking everything to protect the vulnerable. In the end, Emma's life was forever changed, not just by the bullet she took, but by the purpose she found afterward. Her story reminds us that courage lives in all of us, waiting to be unleashed. When we act with kindness, even strangers become family. And sometimes, the greatest wounds bring the deepest healing.